Hey there, welcome back to Fun in Life, where we explore the best tips and tricks for making your life more exciting and fulfilling. Today, we're diving into the world of dating and relationships and discussing why being yourself is so important when it comes to dating women. Let's face it, when we start dating someone new, it's easy to get caught up in trying to impress them. We might feel like we need to put on a certain persona or act a certain way in order to win their affection. But here's the truth, trying to be someone you're not is a recipe for disaster. Authenticity is key in dating women, and there are a few reasons why. First of all, when you're being yourself, you're more likely to attract women who are genuinely interested in who you are. You won't waste time trying to impress someone who isn't a good match for you, and you'll have a better chance of building a connection with someone who shares your values and interests. Another reason authenticity is so important is that it helps you build trust with your partner. When you're open and honest about who you are and what you want, your partner is more likely to trust you and feel comfortable opening up to you in return. So, how can you be more authentic in your dating life? Here are a few tips. Embrace your quirks and unique qualities. Don't try to hide the things that make you different, instead, celebrate them. They're what make you unique and interesting. Be honest about your interests and hobbies. Don't pretend to like things just because you think they'll impress your partner. If you're passionate about something, own it. Don't be afraid to express your emotions. Vulnerability is key in building a strong connection with someone. If you're feeling something, be honest about it. Remember that nobody's perfect. It's okay to make mistakes and have flaws. In fact, these things can make you more relatable and human. Don't beat yourself up over imperfections, and don't feel like you need to hide them from your partner. Stay true to your values. Don't compromise on the things that are important to you, whether it's your faith, your politics, or your morals. If someone isn't compatible with your values, it's better to find out sooner rather than later. Be willing to compromise. While it's important to stay true to your values, it's also important to be flexible and willing to compromise on smaller things. Relationships are about give and take, and being willing to meet your partner halfway is a sign of maturity. Don't be afraid to ask for what you want. If there's something you're looking for in a relationship, whether it's more communication or more affection, don't be afraid to ask for it. Your partner can't read your mind, and being clear about your needs will make for a more fulfilling relationship. Avoid playing games. Games like hard to get or purposely withholding communication can be tempting, but they're ultimately counterproductive. They create unnecessary drama and can lead to misunderstandings or hurt feelings. Be straightforward and honest instead. Be patient. Finding the right person can take time, and there will likely be some bumps along the way. Don't get discouraged if you don't find a connection right away. Keep putting yourself out there and trust that the right person will come along eventually. Remember that dating is a two-way street. It's not just about finding someone who's a good match for you, it's also about being a good match for them. Be attentive, kind, and respectful to your partner, and be willing to put in effort to make the relationship work. It's important to remember that being yourself doesn't mean you can't work on self-improvement. If there are aspects of yourself that you're not happy with, it's okay to work on changing them. The key is to make sure that any changes you make are in line with your values and goals, rather than simply trying to please someone else. Additionally, it's important to communicate openly and honestly with your partner throughout the dating process. This means being clear about your intentions and expectations, as well as listening actively to your partner's needs and concerns. When both partners are on the same page, it's easier to build a strong and healthy relationship. Finally, don't forget that relationships require effort and commitment. It's not enough to simply be yourself and hope for the best. You also need to actively work on building and maintaining a strong connection with your partner. This means making time for each other, communicating regularly, and being willing to work through any challenges that arise. Remember that dating is a journey, not a destination. While it's important to have goals and expectations, it's also important to enjoy the process and take things one day at a time. Don't put too much pressure on yourself or your partner, and try to stay present in the moment. Another important aspect of being yourself in dating is setting boundaries. This means being clear about your limits and what you're comfortable with, and respecting your partner's boundaries as well. When both partners feel respected and heard, it's easier to build a strong and healthy relationship. It's also important to be open to learning and growth. Just because you're being yourself doesn't mean you can't learn from your experiences and improve as a partner. Take feedback from your partner seriously, and be willing to make changes that will improve your relationship. Remember that there is no one right way to date or be in a relationship. Every person and every couple is unique, and what works for one person may not work for another. So, don't be afraid to experiment and try new things as long as you stay true to yourself and your values. Take care of yourself. Self-care is important in all areas of life, including dating. Make sure you're taking care of your physical and emotional health, setting boundaries, and not neglecting other areas of your life like work, hobbies, or friendships. Another important aspect of being yourself in dating is being honest and authentic. This means not pretending to be someone you're not or hiding parts of yourself that you think might be unattractive or unpopular. When you're honest and authentic, you'll attract people who are attracted to the real you, and you'll be able to build deeper, more meaningful connections. At the same time, it's important to recognize that not everyone will be a good match for you, and that's okay. Dating is about finding the right person for you, and that might mean going through some trial and error. Don't get discouraged if a date or a relationship doesn't work out. Instead, use it as an opportunity to learn and grow, and to get clearer on what you want and need in a partner. With time and patience, you'll find the person who is right for you. Another important aspect of being yourself in dating is communication. Honest and open communication is essential for building a healthy and strong relationship. It's important to express your feelings, needs, and concerns to your partner, and to listen actively when they do the same. Effective communication can help you navigate challenges and conflicts, build intimacy and trust, and deepen your connection. Effective communication is crucial in any relationship, but it can be especially important in dating. In the early stages of a relationship, it's natural to want to present the best version of ourselves, but it's also important to be honest and authentic about our needs and expectations. This can help avoid misunderstandings and ensure that both partners are on the same page. Additionally, communication can help address issues or conflicts as they arise, rather than letting them fester and potentially cause greater problems down the line. However, effective communication isn't always easy, especially when it comes to discussing sensitive topics or expressing vulnerability. It's important to approach these conversations with care and sensitivity, and to be willing to listen actively and without judgment. It can also be helpful to use I statements, rather than accusatory language, to express your feelings and concerns. For example, instead of saying "you always do this," try saying "I feel hurt when this happens." This can help prevent defensiveness and encourage a productive dialogue. It's important to remember that dating and relationships are not always easy, and there may be challenges and disagreements along the way. However, how you handle these challenges can make all the difference in the health and longevity of your relationship. Instead of avoiding conflict, try to approach it with a mindset of problem-solving and compromise. This means being willing to work through issues together, taking responsibility for your actions, and making an effort to understand your partner's point of view. It's also important to practice forgiveness and let go of grudges. Holding on to anger and resentment can damage your relationship over time, so it's important to learn to forgive and move forward. This doesn't mean ignoring or minimizing the issue, but rather, choosing to let go of the negative emotions and focus on finding a solution together. It's also important to maintain a positive mindset and attitude in your dating journey. Dating can be frustrating and discouraging at times, but it's important to stay optimistic and keep a sense of humor.